Welcome back to Streamline Crime UK, the second channel to streamline entertainment, people. Interesting video. Please go and subscribe to Monsters Among Us, YouTuber. And this is a chilling case of Elle Gould. How a teen love affair turned into murder. Let's get straight into it and I'll comment as we go.
Elle Gould was a 17-year-old English student from Calne, Wiltshire, who was stabbed to death on the 3rd of May 2019 by Thomas Griffiths, a fellow student at her school, who was also 17 at the time. Born on the 6th of February 2002, Elle Gould was the daughter of Matthew and Carol Gould and lived with her family in Calne, Wiltshire. At the time of her death, she was a Year 12 sixth form student at Harden Hewish School in Chippenham and was studying for her A-levels. A keen horse rider, she participated in local equestrian events, as well as competing in cross-country. She had ambitions to join the mounted police and study psychology at university. Elle celebrated her 17th birthday in early 2019. In January of that year, she began dating Thomas Griffiths, a fellow student at her school whom she had known since they were in Year 7. Thomas was her first boyfriend. Ellie's mother has commented that her husband wasn't overly keen on Thomas because he didn't say much, but she assumed this aspect of his character was just down to his age. As Ellie exams approached, she wanted to focus on her studies and felt the relationship was not right for her, so she ended it in early May.
She seems quite intelligent and brought up very, very well and like happy. And sometimes, you know, we've all been young once in love. And like I said, I think she made, looking, you know, obviously, in a way, she made the right decisions because she wanted to concentrate on her studies and her parents would want her to do that. And maybe she just thought this guy is not for her, which is fair enough. She can make that decision.
Elle Gould said that she felt suffocated by Thomas' attention, and on the night before her murder, told friends he had not taken the split well. On May 3, 2019, Thomas, a resident of Derry Hill, Wiltshire, was dropped off at school by his mother. Feeling unwell, he emailed his teachers about it. However, instead of attending classes, he walked to Chippenham bus station and boarded a bus back to Derry Hill. Once he reached home, he hid in his bedroom's wardrobe, avoiding detection by his mother, who had also returned home. When he was sure she had left again, he took the keys to a silver Ford Focus and drove to Ellie's house. Upon arriving at Ellie's house, an argument ensued between Thomas and Ellie. The situation escalated as Thomas attempted to strangle her and eventually resorted to using a knife he had taken from his family's kitchen. He stabbed her in the neck a total of 13 times. Following the violent act, Thomas spent an hour at the house, trying to clean up the crime scene. He used clothes for this purpose and gathered them in a plastic bag. He also washed his trainers in the kitchen sink and cleaned the knife with an apron before placing it in Ellie's hand, attempting to make it appear as if she had inflicted the injuries herself. Thomas then used Ellie's finger to unlock her mobile phone and sent a text to one of her friends, posing as Ellie and requesting that the friend not pick her up for school. After returning home to change his clothes, Thomas placed the bloodied items in the washing machine and disposed of the bag containing them in a nearby woodland. A neighbor witnessed him returning from the woods and provided him with a ride back to school. Later that day, Thomas sent text messages to his friends, indicating that he and Ellie were going away on a trip together. He also messaged Ellie's phone, asking if they could meet. However, it was Ellie's father who discovered her lifeless body in the kitchen at 3 p.m. that afternoon. Thomas was...
Wow. This guy is so sinister. I think the dad had some good thoughts about this guy. This, obviously, young man wasn't good enough to be with a daughter, and he had his reservations, and he was right.
Was arrested by Wiltshire police on suspicion of murder at 6 p.m. on May 3rd. The arrest took place outside a friend's house in Calne, and he was subsequently taken to Melksham police station for questioning. The investigation utilized evidence from Thomas's mobile phone, as well as CCTV footage tracking his movements. Additionally, a neighbor identified someone matching Thomas's description near Ellie's house. Notably, Thomas had marks on his neck consistent with defensive wounds. Initially, Thomas denied any involvement in Ellie's death, claiming he had not seen her that day and that they had planned to study together at her house. However, the police discovered that the blood on his trainers matched Ellie's blood, leading to his charge of murder. He was formally charged on May 6th and appeared before Salisbury Magistrates Court the following day. On May 9th, he appeared at Bristol Crown Court, where a provisional trial date of October 28th was set. Thomas did not enter a plea and was remanded in custody. At a plea hearing on August 29, 2019, Thomas pleaded guilty to Ellie's murder and remained in custody awaiting sentencing. The sentencing hearing for Thomas took place on November 8th. Richard Smith QC represented the prosecution, while Sasha Wass QC represented the defense. During the proceedings, it was revealed that Thomas had argued with Ellie before her death, and a post-mortem examination indicated that pressure applied to her neck had incapacitated her. Evidence suggested that Thomas had attempted to stage the crime scene by placing the knife in Ellie's hand to make it appear that she had self-inflicted the injuries. Thomas claimed no recollection of the events and attributed marks on his neck to self-harm, although they were more likely a result of Ellie fighting for her life. A letter written by Thomas expressing remorse was read in court, where he acknowledged the inadequacy of his apologies and explanations. He mentioned his poor mental health at the time of the murder. During the sentencing, Judge Mr. Justice Garnham characterized Thomas's actions as a frenzied knife attack, describing it as the appalling act committed against a vulnerable young woman in her own home, where she should have been safe.
Look, he went there basically to hurt her, and this guy is sick, very, very sick, and he seemed to basically be very controlling, have a possibly a jealous factor to her being able to get on with her life and not be with him, and she was still happy because she wanted to concentrate on her studies, and she realized that, probably talking to her parents as well, that he's not the guy for her. It's as simple as that, and she can make that decision, and he didn't like it, and he ended her life in a horrible, horrible way. So sad, because like I said, this young Ellie Gould, young woman who just wanted to concentrate on her studies and live her life. So sad.
The judge noted the profound impact on Ellie's friends and family. Although the murder was determined to be not premeditated since Thomas did not bring the weapon with him, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 12.5 years before being eligible for parole. Due to his age...
Jesus, I know he was young at the time, but they should have given him 25. He knew that he was going to go basically there for an argument, and I probably knew that he was going to lose control as well, which is sicker than sick.
He could not receive a whole life tariff. Ellie Gould's funeral was held on the 29th of May at St. Mary's Church, Calne. Family and friends attended the service. Following Thomas Griffiths' sentence, the case was referred to the Attorney General's office under the unduly lenient sentences scheme. However, on the 6th of December 2019, it was announced that the case could not be referred to the Court of Appeal due to the law preventing people under 21 from receiving a whole life tariff. Speaking about the decision, Carol Gould criticized the legal process as a crazy system, where those under 18 have the same starting point as younger children. She emphasized the significant difference between a 10-year-old and an 18-year-old, highlighting the need for changes in the laws. Ellie Gould's friends launched a campaign advocating for compulsory school self-defense lessons. They believed that basic self-defense knowledge would have potentially saved her life, and argued that it should be included as a subject alongside swimming and road safety. Supporting their cause, James Gray, the MP for North Wiltshire, endorsed the campaign.
That's absolutely brilliant. I'm going to leave it there, people. But like I said, if you want to look at the whole thing, the whole basically YouTube video, that's Monsters Among Us YouTuber. Excellent video there. And it just proves that they are wicked, wicked people in this world. What he should have done is just basically got on with his own life and let Ellie get on with her life. You know, she may have thought, oh, he's carrying with his life, and maybe got together at a later date, but he didn't respect her word, and basically got so angry, which he killed her. And now that basically, sentence, and whether he wants to travel or have a job, that'll always work against him. When will he come out? Maybe mid to late 20s, depending on how long he will serve in prison. But like I said, he's got to carry the weight of that and probably move away and go under a different name, because people know who he is now and what the terrible crime he's actually done by murdering a young woman who had, she seemed happy-go-lucky, she was beautiful. I have a daughter too, and you could tell that she meant the world to her parents as well. A very, very sad case, and like I said, he should have been given a life sentence. Because of his age, they couldn't do that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, thank you, Streamline Crime UK. And like I said, let me know your thoughts on this case. But the main thing is we've got to look at is, why didn't he just say, look, I'm going to give her some space and maybe see what it's like in 6 months, a year's time. At the end of the day, there's obviously some kind of obsession with her, which is quite kind of sad. Thank you anyway, people. Let me know your thoughts on the case, and my heart and condolences do go out to the family. Thank you.